If you guys know a better way to let us know. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to everybody that's joining us, whether you're with us here on Zoom, on Facebook, on Instagram. We are so happy to have all of you here today. We're going to be talking about a topic that is it's really important. I feel like it's important to all of us, but particularly to us as women, because I feel like we're like the biggest offenders of this and it affects us in so many ways. And so kind of introductions. I'm Dani Flynn. I've been with doTERRA now for 5 years or so. And joining me is Dr. Ashley Anderson. You want to introduce yourself to the people?
Howdy, I'm Dr. Ashley Anderson. I have been using oils and products from doTERRA for the last 8 years or so. Have been in the business for since COVID. July of 2020 is when I launched. So this is actually one of the first topics that I had to hit for myself.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm happy to be here. Isaiah, shout out. I'm so happy that you tapped in.
Awesome. I don't know why it's thumbs down. I don't know what's going on Instagram, but it's thumbs up over here. Yeah, it's funny because for me, this topic was one of the first things that I had to tackle as well as I kind of transitioned into this world that was doTERRA. For me, it felt kind of like this dark rabbit hole of like awareness.
Did
I
you
was
feel
so
overwhelmed?
I didn't feel overwhelmed. I felt duped, right? Like I felt I felt like, I have been, hoodwinked and bamboozled and lied to for all these years. So I think for me, it was like I had this assumption that if it was sold in abundance, right? If I walk into Target, then what I saw there was safe for me to use. I was under that impression. And so as I started to have a little bit more awareness, I was like, how
Yeah.
dare you slowly
Well,
poison us?
I was say that, and then the products that I grew up using,
Oh,
it's just like these are the things that I was told to, not even necessarily told to, these are just the products that were home. So that's
right.
what I became accustomed to using. And then I think I got scratched a little bit of the surface when I was working on my master's degree and learned like that you shouldn't douche or put like dial soap on your vagina. But so I was kind of like, okay, not everything y'all told us is true. But when
Right.
we got to this, the toxin-free living stuff and thinking about all of the products that I used every day for so many years, that was essentially slowly causing my demise.
Right.
It was terrifying and overwhelming. So,
Yeah, yeah. I know a lot of people feel overwhelmed when they get into this topic. I think for me, I just felt like, okay, well, we gotta make a change. We gotta do something. But I think it was less overwhelming because I had already found doTERRA. I think
mhm.
for those people who are like, trying to figure this thing out and they haven't found a company that has such a comprehensive suite of products, I think that you trust, right? And you have access to resources and people that can help you figure things out. I think that kind of took a little bit of the overwhelm out of it for me. So hopefully that will be helpful for you guys as well, us having this dialogue and these conversations. When we spoke it's a few weeks ago, I don't even remember when we
Yeah.
did our last live. We talked a little bit about what are toxins and why it needs to be on our radar. And I
Mhm.
loved the explanation that you gave just to help people understand what this thing really is and why we need to tune into it. You want
Girl,
to
I don't
share?
know what I said. No, no, but I mean, it's probably the same thing that I always say, but when we're talking about toxin-free living, big picture, we're talking about looking at with a watchful eye everything that you put in and on your body. So we know that anything that you put on your skin, anything that you breathe in, ends up in your bloodstream. It's a matter of within a matter of seconds, definitely less than a minute. So it's kind of with that lens that we have to look at every single product that we use. We think about, you say the average American woman puts over 170 different chemicals and toxins on her body before she leaves the home in the morning. You know, our bodies are designed to slowly detoxify, right? But they're not able to keep up with the amount of chemicals and toxins that we put on our body in this country. So if you think about from the time you wake up, it's like we've used toothpaste, maybe mouthwash, soap, deodorant, maybe a lotion or body spray, perfume. What did you clean your products with? You're putting on clothes that were washed in a laundry detergent, possibly used a dryer sheet or something like that. Like, then that's not even including the chemicals in our cleaning products. So I think when I say it was overwhelming for me, when I started looking at everything that was around me, I was like, how am I alive right now? Like, how am I
Right.
living?
Right.
But medically, you know, we call a lot of these toxins like endocrine disruptors because they really impact our endocrine system, whether it's our hormones, male and female hormones, whether it's our thyroid, whether it's inflammation that builds up in our bodies over time. It's toxic. So it's like, I don't think it's a mistake or like happenstance or just that we've gotten so much smarter that we have the level of cancers and autoimmune disorders and things like that we do today. People 50, 75, 100 years ago did not have those same type of ailments. And I truly believe that it's because that everything we use
Mhm.
is toxic. It's just toxic. Everything is toxic. So this session is so important because I want you to live. I want you to live well. I want you to not live in pain with inflammation and crazy hormones and all the things. And maybe you genetically have crazy hormones, but I would say like 8 times out of 10, it's probably greatly influenced by the products that you use and the food that you put in your body, which is a whole nother,
A whole nother
that's a whole
topic.
nother Zoom.
Yeah, that's the part that's overwhelming to me. The food.
The
But it's
food part,
yeah, I'm still
girl.
tapping into that, right? But I think I came across this quote, not a quote, but a statistic that really stuck with me when I really first started teaching about this and learning about this. And it said, I'm reading it. So since 1950,
Mhm.
humans have invented more than 70,000 new chemical compounds and have introduced them into our environment. And so there is no wonder why we have this rise in all of these ailments and things, food sensitivities and all these things that we just didn't have. You know, our
Mhm.
parents didn't have that stuff growing up, you know? And I think, you know, when you look at that statistic, some of those chemical compounds could be life-saving drugs, right? Things that
Mhm.
have really made a difference and a positive impact in our environment that we need. Um, but a lot of them, arguably most of them, have found their way into our homes. And these are products that we're using every single day, products that we're exposing ourselves to, our children to, right? Our ill loved ones to. And we just really have to be aware. We really just awareness really is key.
So you just triggered me because two days ago I saw a post on Facebook. It was a woman asking, how many of you all still do this? And she had run her sink full of water, like dishwater, and was pouring bleach in it. And I was like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And I'm like, how do you not say anything? So I just typed, no, please don't do this. It's so toxic. And then I had a conversation with someone yesterday about like she does the same thing. Like she's just so used to using bleach that she doesn't think things are clean
Mhm.
if bleach is not. in the vicinity. So it not only is it like changing choices,
Mhm.
right? And having, because obviously like we have doTERRA, we're introducing people to that maybe didn't know about doTERRA and the products that they have, knowing that the products work, but there's a huge shift in mindset that makes you really have to get honest with yourself. It's like we have to disconnect from some of the things that we've learned, things that we've come accustomed to just, you know, live cleaner and so that we can live longer, healthier.
Yeah, for sure. And the bleach thing, so during COVID, right? So I was probably 2 years into my doTERRA journey at this point, and I had started to get rid of toxic chemicals. I started pretty quickly. So here's the thing. I enrolled with the Natural Solutions Kit. So it had a little bit of everything in there, and we'll share a little bit more about how we personally have done this slowly but surely, right? So I had access to a lot of stuff already with that kit. So I had started already making some changes. So 2 years into it, I was doing pretty good, and COVID happens. I mean, I had friends literally that were washing their hands with bleach because they were
Mhm.
so scared and so
Everyone
nervous,
was scared.
and so I was like, okay, so we've got this new virus that's out, and I felt like this was an opportunity to test these products, because this is what I have been using. And so I didn't change. So shortly into COVID is when doTERRA came out with the Abode line. So if you don't know
Yes.
about the Abode line, that is a cleaning line. It's a cleaning concentrate as well as an essential oil that has some very powerful but non-toxic ingredients, include, obviously essential oils, but there are some other powerful but non-toxic ingredients. And so that's what I was using, the On Guard concentrate, and I was using the Abode. And it we rolled that thing out for a minute. I mean, I don't think
Mhm.
we didn't get COVID probably until like 2.5 years into it. But I mean, I was on my On Guard game, I was doing all the things, and I felt like, no, it's equally effective. It's equally effective. And
Smells way
without
better.
yeah, exactly. Without all of the harmful side effects. Plus, there's a ton of other benefits. And I think that's the beauty of essential oils, is that you're going to get the same effectiveness and some,
Mhm.
you know? But I also think like some of the products that we use every day, they're called, I don't know if I'm sure there's a scientific word that maybe you can explain to us. But they call them forever chemicals.
Mm.
And so when I started learning about forever chemicals, I'm like, what? These are the things, and I think they're found a lot in hair products and in skincare. These things aren't coming out of our systems, right? And so,
Mhm.
it just behooves all of us to really be intentional about what we put into our bodies, on our bodies, what we breathe in, what we expose ourselves to.
Mhm.
Because here's the thing, and people tell me this all the time, like, you're not gonna get rid of all of the toxic chemicals in our environment. You're right. And that's why we need to be intentional and control the things that we actually can control, because there's so much that we cannot control. We walk
Right.
out the door, there's environmental toxins that we can't do anything about. And so we have to to me, it's like, okay, what can I control? What things are going to be a simple swap? I'm already doing it. What can I just swap to just reduce the toxic load just a little bit? I had a friend who's a nurse, who long story short, she was trying to get pregnant, and she was just having lots of issues with her hormones and just a lot of issues, and she didn't know why. She didn't know why. So I said to her, like, like, maybe, like, what's going on in your home? Like, or do you feel like you're exposed to a lot of these endocrine disturbers, And so we started going down the list, and she hadn't it was all toxic. Everything she was using, everything that she was exposed to throughout the day was just toxic. And her cycle was very irregular, so it was really hard for her to conceive. And so what she did was, when she learned about this, she immediately got rid. She loved candles. She loved the Febreze. She loved the Glade plugins, which is me. That I was the toxic queen. I wanted my house to smell good, right? So that's what she did.
Mhm.
So that's where she started. She got rid of all of that stuff, and her husband was traumatized because he liked the smell goods too, right? Got rid of all of that stuff and replaced it all with diffusers. Just that was the first change she made. And within 2 months, her cycle had regulated. It was like back on track. Her body was back calibrated and in
So I want
homeostasis.
you to think about that. That's a small change, seemingly small change. But when you think about the magnitude of what you're breathing, what, 16 to 20 times per minute through the night, through the whole entire time that you're living your life at home, you're breathing those chemicals in 16 to 20 times per minute. Like add that up for a year or even a week, it's a lot of toxicity that you're just breathing in constantly. So that one change, oh my gosh, her body was probably so happy.
Probably like hallelujah.
Hmm.
So so I mean it's this is really real, and we just really want to encourage all of you to really be intentional, because there are so many other things that you can't control. But these what we're hoping to introduce you to, and we feel like this may be a series because there's so much to say about it. Um well, we just hope that we will, get you started in the process. Get you started. So
Yeah.
where did you start? You were overwhelmed by all the
I was
things.
overwhelmed.
Right. So where did you
Um,
start?
so what I decided to do, which is what I tend to like tell people to, when I talk to them about toxin-free living and their eyes get like this big and like, oh my God. I tell people to pick a room of the house and start there and switch maybe one or two products a month and then kind of progress from there. So for me, I started in the kitchen slash laundry. So the first two things that I changed um, simultaneously was dish detergent, which at the time doTERRA didn't have it. So I think I got like seventh generation or something. And then laundry detergent. So I got the On Guard
Mhm.
laundry detergent. Sorry, someone's calling me. um, so the On Guard laundry detergent. So that was like my first shift. Now, my hardest
Mm.
thing to give up was my skincare regimen.
Mhm. Mhm.
That was the very last thing I gave up. I switched deodorant and everything before I was ready to give up my proactive girl.
What do you use now?
I use Virage.
Yeah, that's what
But
I use.
what's interesting, which also speaks to what my hormones were doing, my skin issues and breakouts and stuff were cyclical. And I
Mm.
just thought, oh, this is just because I'm about to start my cycle, not thinking this was a red flag that my hormones were out of balance. That's a
Mhm.
whole nother class, y'all. But a lot of the symptoms that we have accepted as normal menstrual cycle symptoms are indicators of menstrual or hormonal imbalance. So,
Mhm.
what I noticed once I had changed all of these things was that I wasn't breaking out around my cycles anymore. So I went from thinking I needed to use this really harsh chemical products line on my skin to prevent acne to realizing that I didn't need that at all. So I use the Virage anti-aging line. I've used that for the last 8 7 8 years. And, I might get like one pimple when I'm about to start my cycle, like, oh, there she is, it's
Yeah.
coming. But yeah, that was it changed my whole entire life. What about you? What was your first product? And then what was your hardest one to give up?
I think I was pretty, like, I'm pretty intense, y'all. Okay. When I do something, I'm gonna
Dani's
do.
all in. She's all in.
I jumped all in. So I got like I said, I got a big kit, and it had over 10, 12, 15 oils. It had a bunch of oils. So what I did was the first thing I brought in was the diffusers. I had multiple diffusers, and I got rid of all of I used to buy, okay. It was bad. It was bad. I used to buy the Febreze in bulk. So I still had like 20 bottles of Febreze. I would go to like the Bath and Body Works semi-annual sales, and I would drop $200-300, and I would get just
All
sprays,
the things.
all the things. So I had all of this stuff. And so then it was like, I don't want to give it away. I'm learning. I don't want to give it to someone else. Um, but I was like, that money I'm spending out, that's a lot of money. So I had a little bit of a tug there, but I stopped using them. I didn't get rid of them immediately, but I did stop using them. I brought in the diffusers, and I started to make my own Febreze. So doTERRA has these really awesome continuous mist sprayers that look like the Febreze sprayer. So I got a bunch of those, and then that's what I was using. You could change it up, which I really love. So I started that right off the gate, and I still do that. I started making my own hand soap because I loved the Bath and Body Works foaming soap. Replace that. I think that's where there was something else that I did in that same thing that my body spray. My body spray and my lotions. I changed those. I just, got a clean lotion and just added the essential oil. So I was able to like pretty cost effectively maximize my oily investment, right? I had all these oils. Now I was able to have like multiple purposes for them. So that's kind of where I started. And then, I went to the kitchen, I went into the laundry room, and the very last thing similarly, well, let me just pause and say this. So I believe in an 80-20 rule. I knew because I was like, yo, it's like everything. I don't want to change everything, particularly when it comes to my physical appearance, right? So I was like, okay, when it came down to like the things that I was doing, my hair, my nails, my skin, my makeup, like all that, I was like, okay, we're gonna have to choose. And that's why everything in my house had to change because there were certain things that I wanted to keep. So I kept my nails. I get something that doesn't have an odor. So it's lower toxins. I'm sure it's not completely non-toxic, and my lashes. Those are the two things that I kept. But the very last thing that I transitioned to was makeup. It was
Mm.
skincare, and then it was makeup.
Hmm.
And that has been a whole drain. That's a whole nother class for a whole nother day.
We should probably do like a non-toxic beauty class.
Oh, that's perfect. That we should totally do that.
Yeah, because I think it would be helpful.
Yeah.
I want, Monetta says yes. I want to give a moment of silence for the perfuming because that was hard for me to give up. And I also believe that it's really hard for most women. Like we want to smell good. Um, but I just realized like I'm spending 70, $80 a bottle on this really fancy perfume that is toxic to my body
Yeah, it's
versus now. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, is it worth it? I guess is the question, right? Because you can
Yeah, it's not at all. Yes, Monetta says smell good and tore up on the
on the
inside.
inside. Well, and
Yes, girl.
what's funny is I couldn't even use like real perfume. I had to do like body splashes and sprays and stuff because the real perfume, I have an asthma attack.
That's
So
because
I
your lungs were inflamed
exactly
from
my
the
body.
all the Febreze.
I know. I'm
Danny.
like, what is happening here? What is actually happening here? But we talked about, I can't remember what the combination you said. You mixed ylang ylang. Was
And
ylang
adaptive.
ylang an adaptive? Okay. So
Hmm.
I didn't have ylang ylang, but I used to like to scent my vacations. Okay. So I'd go to Bath
Ooh,
and Body Works and I would get like the travel size and I would change it up. I would change the scent so that every time I smelled that scent, it would remind me of a specific vacation. Um,
that's beautiful.
right? That's what I used to do. So I'm like, okay, we just came back from a cruise. I'm like, I'm gonna scent this cruise. I didn't have ylang ylang, but I mixed jasmine with I
Mm.
love jasmine. I mixed the jasmine with the adaptive. And I don't know if I saw her pop in here. Fran was literally up on my neck smelling me. She's like, you smell so good. And that's the thing. Like you can still smell yummy
Yes,
without all of the toxic stuff, right?
you can.
And it's also helping to balance out those hormones.
Yeah,
Um,
And and on top of that, you can fragrance yourself based upon your mood and how
Yes.
you're feeling. So if you wake up and you're like, man, I'm pretty anxious today, I need to ground it down. You can grab your adaptive, mix it with some jasmine, whatever it is that you want to help ground and calm your body. But if you're like, yeah, I'm struggling, I need to boost it up, you can grab your passion or cheer or something else that's going to give you the emotional benefits in addition to you smelling great. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Somebody's saying when I wear my oils and go for a walk, dogs always come by me.
heck yeah, they feel safe probably.
Dogs love it. I love it. So tell us, you guys in the chat, where did you start? Or are you just starting? And what
Mhm,
was the hardest part for you guys? And in the chat, I think is that Monetta that's saying, I love
mhm,
that the oils adapt to your body chemistry. Yeah, two oils can smell
mhm,
to different people. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
mhm.
I love it. You
Listen, I might have mentioned Tamika, my girl, on the last live we did, but she is the only person I've ever smelled patchouli smell amazing on.
oh wow.
Like she mixes patchouli with lavender, and every time I smell her, I'm like, come here, girl. It smells so good. But for me, it's like, no,
Yeah.
it's not. Mm-mm.
Yeah, everybody has their thing. Yeah, so Tatiana is saying hair care and makeup was the hardest part. I think
Mhm.
that is the hardest
I
part.
think that's
And that's why
consistent.
I do think we need to do a class just on that to share
Yeah,
some of the things that we found because I've done a lot of research on this to try to
yeah.
how can we still be cute and also reduce the toxic loads. Yes.
Someone just mentioned the wool balls in the dryer.
One
That
of
was
the
like
most
when
toxic.
I learned about that. Oh my gosh,
Yes, those,
game changer.
if you don't know, those little dryer sheets
Oh,
are probably one of the most toxic things you have in your home. Get rid of it. Again, we used to go to Costco and buy those things in bulk. Now we just use,
hmm
oh, I have a tip for you guys. We use the dryer balls. I
hmm
had a hard time finding dryer balls that actually like smelled like where I'd smell it on the I had a hard time finding the oil, the right oil to put on the dryer balls where I
Oh,
could actually smell it. Dana Moore posted about a Bode. Have you tried a
hmm
Bode on the dryer
I
ball?
haven't.
Works like a charm. That's the only one
Thanks.
that
Pro
that
tip.
geranium. Yeah, those are the only two that you
I
hate
do
geranium.
not want to smell geranium on my clothes.
Oh my God, I love geranium. Charity ATL girl is saying hair care and skin.
Charity.
Everybody's saying, okay, so let's see what's happening over here in our chat. A lot of people started in the laundry room and the kitchen.
Mhm.
Um, yep, laundry room diffusing. Love it. Bathroom, kitchen. Yeah, those are good areas to start. And one of the things that I like to really encourage, particularly women, to focus on when you're getting started is deodorant. Like deodorant worries me, it scares me because of the proximity to the girls.
Listen, medical hat on, I'm a
Yes.
women's health provider. I strongly believe, I haven't seen this in major medical research, but I truly believe it's one of the leading causes of breast problems from the gamut, from cysts to tumors, like all of it. Because if you think like we're putting aluminum, like a metal, into your armpit, right? Into that lymph node area. It's all like going right into the breast tissue. And we're also, most of the antiperspirants were preventing your body from perspiring, which is a detoxifying mechanism. We can't do that.
No. We that's how our body is getting rid of these toxins that are coming in. So we have some questions about what should we use as deodorant, and a couple questions about deodorant. But I just want to encourage all of you, start there. Please, that's like really quick and that's a quick and easy switch. And it's good to do it when it's still a little colder outside as your body like adjusts. And I saw someone I put in my stories yesterday, someone posted about doing a pit detox before you transition
Hmm.
to a natural deodorant, I think that's a great suggestion. doTERRA has a mud mask that you can use to do a detox. And then we have what, three different deodorants? We've
Mm,
Balance.
Balance is my favorite. That's the only one I buy anymore.
Yeah, Balance. There's like an one that doesn't have baking soda in it. It's orange, wild
The
orange.
Greek
Yeah, that one.
something, yeah.
It's for sensitive skin. And then there's I just got finished with it. It's one that cherry. Oh my gosh,
Is it Citrus Bloom?
citrus bloom, citrus bloom.
Hmm.
So those are good options. And then there's some other non-doTERRA brands that I've used in the past as well that I like. But I will, because you got to kind of figure out what your body's going to respond to, right?
Yeah.
You're still going to sweat because you need to. Just so you know,
I think that's the hardest thing to get used to.
yeah, yeah. We just don't want the sweat to stink.
Yeah. That part.
So here's a tip. Here's what I do. Is I use, especially in the summertime, I will use essential oils underneath the deodorant. So I'll do tea tree, I've done lavender, I've done
Mm.
frankincense. Just I've done a number of different essential oils, but tea tree is I think one of the best ones because it has so many antifungal properties. I don't really
Hmm.
like the way it smells, but it's very, very effective. So I'll put that on.
But emotionally, that tea tree is everything.
Tell me
It's
more.
I want to say it's the energetic boundaries one, but it's
Mm,
very good for breaking codependency and that
mm,
kind of thing. I
yeah,
fell in love with it in the process of getting divorced, which is so
mm,
funny because I used to hate the smell of tea tree, but
yeah,
then I just found myself sniffing the bottles and putting it in my hands, which, people say all the time your body knows
yeah. Your
what
body
it
knows.
needs.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's a good one.
that's so interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many side benefits when you're
Yeah.
using essential oils.
Yeah.
Uh,
Someone mentioned another real easy one to switch is toothpaste.
oh yeah.
Toothpaste and mouthwash. You think about toothpaste that we use, majority of them say that you can't swallow that. That's a red flag.
Yeah, dead giveaway.
Red flag.
Yeah, and I
So
think I feel like yes, I love the Superman. I love the On Guard toothpaste. Um and oh, we have so many good comments. I can't keep up with them all. There's so many
I
good comments.
know.
But the I've heard a lot of people say make comments about the efforts that, some of us take to live a lower toxic life, like a low tox life. And they're like, oh, it's fine. Like it's only a little bit of aluminum in the air, only a little bit of fluoride in the right. But the thing is, especially as women, we're putting a little bit of a lot of stuff on us every single
Every
day,
day.
sometimes multiple times a day, right? That stuff adds up, especially we're in our 40s now, right? That stuff adds up. Now our bodies can't do any of the things that we needed to do because it's trying to get rid of all these flipping toxic chemicals. I remember like doing COVID, right? So I'm sure this is like, you know, Dr. Ashley Anderson, this is probably common knowledge to you, but I just remember, during COVID, I remember them saying, like, if you have a if you have another condition, right,
Mhm.
you are more susceptible to die from COVID or to be severely ill from COVID because so I was really like wrestling with that. Like, why? Why is it? And then I was like, it's because your body can't do all the things. We got to
Yeah.
help the body out.
Hmm.
It can't be over here regulating our blood pressure and our cholesterol and our blood sugar and getting rid of all the toxic chemicals,
And not sleeping and
and
be stressed out.
we got to do our part as
Yeah.
well, guys. We have to really take care of these bodies that are a beautiful gift from our creator. We got to do our part.
Yeah. And
Oh,
Danny, you made some really good points there. And earlier you were talking about like we pick and choose, right? Okay, we're not expecting you to like cold turkey your whole life and just be completely toxin free. And truly it's impossible, right? You have to go outside and you're going to breathe air. Unless you live in a bubble, like it's impossible for you to completely rid your life of all toxins. You can control what's in your home, You can control what's in your, sometimes in your workspace, what happens in your car, those types of things. But one thing that you can do to assist your body in detoxifying is to add some citrus oils to your water. So you, like I said, your body is naturally has an excretory system on purpose. That's why we urinate and defecate. It's like our body's way of getting stuff out. That's why we sweat. So we can help our kidneys and our liver to detoxify those kidney or those chemicals and toxins by just adding a little bit of citrus oil to your water. That's going to really help to detoxify your system gently. It's going to really help to balance the pH and make it more alkaline in your body, which we know when your body's more alkaline, you're less likely to get sick. There's levels. It helps to improve your mood. So even if you're like, okay, I'm not ready to give up my Dow or my Dove or my Tide or my Gain, I saw in the chat, do something to support your body in excreting some of those toxins that you're getting in. And yes, Moneta makes a great point. Don't you go to Dollar Tree and grab no citrus oil and put it in your water. Okay.
Amazon, stay away
Or
from oil from
anywhere.
Amazon.
If
Yeah.
that oil, if it's, I say if the fruit you normally could consume safely, if the essential oil bottle says it's not safe, that's a red flag that there's some sort of filler or something in there that makes it unsafe to ingest. So you need a glass or a stainless steel water bottle. You can use a ceramic mug if you want to do it that way. We've got lemon, tangerine, green mandarin is my favorite. Grapefruit. I mean, we have so many citrus oils, but make that, part of your entry point because that's so extremely important to support those excretory organs.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And what about Zendocrine? Do you recommend like a Zendocrine cycle?
Yeah, I think it would be very, especially if you are going all in. If you're going in and you're like, all right, I'm trying to transition to be more toxin, even doing the full cleanse and restore would be incredible to start, kind of set your body up for what you're about to transition it to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. There's just so much. And again, if you're watching, some of you have already started down this process, right? And so it may not be so overwhelming for you, but if you're watching this and you're like, yo, my whole life is full of toxins that are slowly poisoning me, and I'm so overwhelmed. Don't be, but know better, do better, right? So now you can make some changes, right? And you don't have,
And
yeah.
if you're overwhelmed and you're just like, you know what? I don't have the patience for this. Reach out to one of us, reach out to whoever introduced you to doTERRA and let them doTERRorize your house. Okay?
We do
So
that well.
yeah, we can. We can. You could just go in and do a full sweep, like supermarket sweep, just like take all the stuff
Easy,
and
but
start
easy
over
for us.
from.
We've done all the research for you. So
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Reach out to whomever introduced you to doTERRA. Let them help you. And I love that doTERRA is really focused. Like when we just got back from a retreat couple weeks ago, and they're really focusing in on this. Right. They showed us some of the toxic levels in some of very mainstream products, and it was like, ooh, oh,
very scary.
yeah, it's very, very scary. And so they're really focused on this market. So you're going to see some exciting things coming from doTERRA in the near future, and they really want to help us get rid of all these toxic chemicals in our lives. And they've made it just so easy to make these simple swaps. So we hope that you grabbed a nugget or two from this. That should be a
I love that.
bundle. doTERRA.
doTERRorize
Yes, I love it.
bundle. Yes.
Maybe maybe that's coming soon. We'll see. We'll see
We
what's gonna
might need
happen.
to bring that up in our next brainstorming session
Hello.
at
Yes.
leadership.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, so we hope that you guys have taken just what we hope is that if you haven't started this process, that you are inspired and empowered to begin it, right? To start somewhere, start in a room, pick one thing and start there and see how many changes that you start to see and feel in your body. And then what we'll do is we'll come back later, TBD as to when, and we'll
We're
dive
gonna
deep.
get on the schedule, y'all.
We're gonna figure this thing out. We busy, but we're gonna figure out, and we're gonna pick a just a topic that we'll do a deep dive in. Okay. So if there's something that you want us to talk more about, then drop it in the chat or reach out to one of us, and then we'll build, a class around that. And we'll give you, Dr. Ashley will put on her medical hat and give us some science behind it. And we'll show you how to use the products that you may already have, right? Or introduce you to some new ones.
Mhm.
So we are so grateful that you guys have joined us. There's so many messages, y'all. We can't read
I
them all.
know, but
I hate
I'm
it.
so happy though, because that means that this was a topic that was helpful for you guys. It definitely sounds like we need to have this beauty
Yes.
session.
Yes. And I
I'm
think
gonna
there's
have to,
a couple of other people we can bring into that conversation as
yeah.
well that might have some insight. So I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So thank you guys so much. Some of you will see you at leadership in a couple of weeks.
Leadership.
Yes. Look at that. What's happening on Instagram?
Oh,
Thank you,
that's
Facebook.
cute.
I know Facebook, we can't engage with you, but we'll see your comments later and we'll
Mm.
respond. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll be back one day soon. All right, bye. Okay, let me stop it here. Let me stop it here.